What's going on, guys? So in this video, we're going to be talking about mindset. And I'm a strong believer that if you can change the way that you think, you'll be able to change your life. So you might be at a place right now where you are feeling stuck, you are feeling like all of these situations are working against you. I want to suggest to you that a change in mindset may work in your favor. Sometimes we are at the places that we are not because of a lack of opportunities or people being against us, but sometimes it's because of the way we think, especially in relation to success and failures. So I want to do a bit of book review. Listen, I am no bookworm, and I am not coming into this video to suggest to you guys that I'm reading 4 or 5 books a week or a month or anything like that. I'd hope to. And if you are someone that has read for a degree before, you know that reading for a degree will either cause you to love reading or flat out hate it. And I have leaned a lot closer onto the side of hating reading, and I found myself spending a lot more time listening to audio versions of books. But recently I've been trying to get back into the groove of reading physical copies of books and also reading aloud, just to have more senses engaged. So you're reading with your eyes in your mind and also reading aloud. And since it's a book review, you know what we need a book. And interestingly, we're talking about mindset in this video, and I bet you'd never guess what the name of the book is. Yep, the book is called Mindset. And this book is written by a lady called Carol Dweck. She's a psychologist and someone really excellent at her field of study. Within this book is just a lot of information. I'm just at about chapter 4, and it has been like drinking water from a fire hydrant with the amount of data and research that is within this book. So if you're one of those persons that like the numbers and the statistics and stuff like that when you're reading your books, check this book out. So there are 2 mindsets that Carl spends a lot of time talking about in this book, and they are a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. And I'm going to share with you a couple illustrations to kind of give you a better grasp of what those mindsets look like in action. And then hopefully by the end of this video, you will be able to determine kind of where you are on the spectrum of mindsets right now. So I want you to envision this right now. You spent the time preparing for an exam. And I know it's around the time of midterms right now. And you prepared for this exam. It's a subject that you really like. You went into the exam the next day and you got a C. And then after getting that C, for the sake of this scenario, you drive, you went outside the examination room to where you park, and you got a parking ticket. And then, in addition to the parking ticket, when you are driving home now, you call a friend, a best friend, to vent about your situation, and the friend basically shuns your call, either hangs up on you or just doesn't seem interested in hearing what you are going through. The fixed mindset person would immediately think that the teacher set them up, or this class is probably just not for them, and they're probably going to fail this course because they get this C or D or a low grade on this exam. And then in addition to that, now if the fixed mindset person now goes and gets a parking ticket, with the situations compounding, immediately the thought would be like, oh, maybe the man upstairs doesn't like me, or this is just the worst day of my life, or things along that lines that build on an already negative situation. Then in addition to the parking ticket, the low grade in that exam, you call a friend and the friend doesn't really give you that energy that you are hoping to receive. The fixed mindset person immediately starts to think that, well, maybe my friend doesn't like me either, or they were never real to begin with, or they're a fake friend that I need to cut them off, and all of that. So that would be like a general idea of how a fixed mindset person would respond to situations like those. And I want to make a disclaimer here, because the growth mindset person isn't impervious to having feelings of rejection and disappointment, but as you'll notice, the way in which the growth mindset person responds to failures and disappointments is what makes the difference between the fixed and the growth mindset. The growth mindset person, after receiving a low grade on an exam, would immediately jump into action now of thinking, I want to check with the teacher to find out what exactly I did wrong so that I can improve it for the final exam. Because right away you notice that the fixed mindset person wasn't even thinking about the fact that it was a midterm. They were just thinking that, well, I'm gonna fail this class, but knowing that there is another chance in the final exam to build or other pieces of assignments leading up to finals, you can bring up your grade and compensate for that C. And then moving to getting the parking ticket, a growth mindset, since already thinking about how to correct what they may have done wrong and taking responsibility, the growth mindset person would recognize that they probably parked in the wrong spot and commit to parking better the next time, because probably you were late for the exam and you were rushing, so you just stole a park somewhere and you got a parking ticket. Then on the way home now, if you as a growth mindset person calls a friend and that friend isn't interested in talking, you could empathize because maybe your friend is also having a bad day. The growth mindset person would think that, well, there must be circumstances that would allow my friend to not be interested in talking right now, and you could just be understanding and giving them the benefit of the doubt within that situation, as opposed to thinking that this friend doesn't like you. So sometimes we find ourselves stuck after we experience failures or shortcomings or disappointments, because guys, listen, those are parts of life. Failure, I believe, is a part of success. If you are able to change the way you think about failure and disappointment, it will change the very trajectory of how you approach situations, especially after being disappointed. So one of the ways that you can help yourself in leaning now into a more growth-oriented mindset is to surround yourself with people that have that mindset.
My goodness, what an idea. Why didn't I think of that? Hammocks.
Having a growth-oriented mindset will be super helpful in you improving the overall quality of your life. It doesn't mean that things aren't going to bother you and you're not going to struggle with moments of dealing with rejection and disappointment. But if you are able to just switch the way that you think about these things, it will help you to deal with them a lot better. I'd give this book so far a 9 out of 10. Because, you know, there are certain jargon within the whole realm of psychology that kind of fly over my head sometimes, and I have to really do some checks on certain definitions. But this book has been a real blessing to my life, and I've been trying to implement a lot of the different aspects to my own life, because I can definitely pinpoint areas where I have leaned more to the fixed mindset. And as I continue to read, I'll probably do a part 2 of this video talking about this book a little bit more. But yeah, which one of these mindsets do you think best defines you? And hey, you guys should check this out. And speaking of checking out, you should check this video that I made about the missing tile syndrome. It has something to do with the whole idea of mindsets as well. But check this video out though, and thanks so much for watching, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.